I can hear in my mind Zen Master Bon Soeng. He had this line he would say all the time. Zen Master Bon Soeng is that man on the wall over there. He was my teacher. He was the founding teacher of the school. And he'd often say to us, why do that? And that direction and purpose is quite important in understanding and working with this question, what am I? I saw this posting today on Facebook. There's a yoga/Buddhist teacher up in Canada, and he put this up. The person said that the drone pilots that work out of Nevada, you know, you all know about drones and how the drones are flown remotely. And the pilots, they're probably in more than one place, but I know I've read that they're in Nevada, and he talked about this in Nevada. And it's a very bizarre situation when you're a drone pilot, because you wake up in the morning, you help get your kids off to school, you help them brush their teeth, you feed them breakfast, you kiss your wife goodbye or your husband goodbye, and then you go into this room, and when you walk into this room, you're in a war zone. And you fight the war for 8 hours a day. And then when your shift is over, you leave the war zone and you go home and you help your kids with homework and you live this somehow normal life. And it's a very crazy making thing. So he said, the drone pilots start their day with about a half an hour of yoga. So they go into this room and they stretch and they do this yoga and they get themselves centered. And then they go into this room and then they fly the drones. And sometimes they push the button that sends the missile down that hits the car, that blows up the car, that kills the people. Hopefully they just kill the people in the car, that's their goal, but we all know that there's this crazy word they call collateral damage. And sometimes other people that you didn't quite mean to kill, they also die. And you watch it. You actually see it on a video camera. So you do that for, 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, however many hours they put them in this room. And then at the end of the day, before you go home, everybody does a group meditation to kind of release the stress out of what you've just done and what you've just been through. And then you go home and you live your life. And think about it. We've been talking about these incredible ancient practices that help us understand who we are and can actually bring some, maybe a little small modicum of peace and harmony and love and compassion into this world. That's why I started practicing. It's probably why most of us sitting in this room started practicing. We face this suffering, and we're looking for a way to deal with the suffering and not continually make these huge messes in the world that we human beings tend to make. But you can use these same wonderful ancient practices to be a better warrior, to kill people better, to, back when I started practicing, there were all these books. There was like Zen and golf, Zen and archery. Well, that's an actual form. But you can do Zen and basket weaving, and you can do Zen and killing people. So now there's the words of my teacher again. Why do that? Practices are only practices. They can be used for anything. So much of what's important is why we do it, what we're about. It's okay. It probably helps these drone pilots to do these practices. So I'm not even suggesting that it's bad that they're doing it. But we have to be careful. Why do that?